Hello there, Crafty Doer. Jessica Michaels here. Welcome back to the Crafty Doings Mixed Media Paper Crafts. Welcome if you are new. This video is for Color Rush Studio featuring the July Travel Archives kit. So grab a comfy chair, grab all your crafty things, and let's get into the Crafty Doings. I knew I wanted to document our summer vacation, and I have a new obsession. This is the Doodlebug 6x8 albums. I'm in love. So I'm going to give you a quick little tour of it. You get some sleeves, and some have the 4 pockets, some have the 4x6 and the 2 smallers, and then the halves, and then the full sleeves. And then you get these little like pre-made pocket pages and a side pocket, 2 of each. And then you get these colorful dividers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get these really thick chipboard tab dividers, and you get quite a few of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And mind you, you don't have to keep it in this order. And it is like a sturdy, cute, like it's sturdy album. I got the yellow one because the whole, like, if you didn't watch my unboxing video, the one thing I was obsessing about was the Frazzles and Ribbons. Look at this lace. Hold on. Then you have this like floral, then yellow stripes, and then this I can't. And when I first pulled it out of the kit, I knew that I wanted them all together, and I knew that I wanted them on an album. My dilemma was that I only do December dailies albums separately from my annual 8x8 scrapbook layouts, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot to keep up with. But I couldn't resist. And this current summer, my family and I had one of the best summer vacations that we've had yet. And I decided I don't care about double scrapping, I guess, the same photos. So I'm going to continue to do my 8x8 layouts of little moments, and these are going to be kind of like the major moments, and this is going to be kind of like the VIP backstage kind of album for it. There will be doubles on there, but I don't mind it because this is such a beautiful kit. It is such an awesome album, album here, 3-ring binder album, and it is just an amazing vacation. And it's those little moments, just like Charla mentions about her kit this month, is you want to document those moments that really mold you, you know, and change your life. And I think this summer was really one of those. So anyways, I know I want to do this little fringe here, okay? And I'm not going to do a lot of chit-chatting. I'm going to do kind of a lot of speedy creative process here. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat what I'm going to use, or at least what I'm thinking of using. These gold charms are the bits and pieces. I actually have acrylics in here because I was so excited to use all this stuff. Sorry, I'm going to use the acrylic geos here. Ah, I dropped one. Give me a sec. Okay, sorry. I'm also going to use these little gears that I think are so cool. There's so many of them. These are just like some of them. These are also bits and pieces in the collection. And I'm going to use these as well. There we go. I'm just going to do the cover for today. And then I am going to use to title my album this awesome acrylic. I feel like there's no better place for this amazing piece than the front cover. And then I I thought I wanted to use this one here, but I'm not sure because I have a vision for all of this, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit it in there. But if I do, you know, hopefully this is what I kind of want to use. As far as paper, I'm going to go in with the Vicky Boutin. This is in the main kit. Oh, or is it the add-on? I don't know. I'll let you know in the description box. But that's why it's very important to try to get both. Both. Don't limit yourself to just one. And then what else? I cut the barcode strip here, which brings out the green in there. And I'm actually going to use it upside down and add that sucker here. I am going to do a little bit of stitching just to add a little extra texture and interest. And my mixed media part to this is I always keep at hand some acetate. Some are acetate, some are actually just like laminate paper that I laminated and I use for like shakers. And I think I want to do a little something, some kind of mixed media thing here, and then add it to my background where I'm going to add my sentiment, because I don't want to add it on here. I did that once with my one of my December dailies, and let me pop it in here because it was a Color Rush kit and I haven't quite finished it. My plan was to do Christmas in July this summer, but that didn't happen. But see, here it is. So see, I do shaker. It was a little shaker. I try to do some Distress Oxide, I believe, and it kind of faded a little bit and it rubbed off a little bit. I'll link this video. I think it might just be a short in the description box. So to avoid that, I'm going to put the mixed media on top of here, turn it over and then adhere it down, and then add my sentiment and start decorating. I am so excited for this one. I hope you stick around. I'll play a little bit of music. I may or may not pop in and out throughout my process in case I feel the need to have to address something. Other than that, thanks for hanging out with me. Here we go. I went ahead and selected my pattern paper that I'm going to use for my cover, trimmed it down so that there's about 1/4 of an inch white space coming through all around. And then I'm going to use the barcode trimming off of one of the other sheets to place in between both the yellow panel and my pattern paper. You'll notice that my pattern paper is upside down. Some of the letters are pretty visible, like this prominent B, but I don't mind. This is where my frazzles are going to hang, and so, you know, it'll kind of cover it up. But after adhering the strip, the barcode strip, to the panel, and not the album itself, that way I can kind of see where I want it. See, this is where the frazzles are going to go. I'm going to run it through my sewing machine for a little bit of stitching detail. Next, I am going to begin to assemble my tassels. I'm going to put a couple of 49 Market dye ink pads under here so that it can prop up evenly and it's easier to work on. But I'm just going to use some linen thread in black, because there are going to be some black accents coming through this entire design. And I'm going to run this thread only a couple times around the cover here on top of the yellow panel. Leave quite a bit of excess string so then I can tie the little bundle of the tassel, so to speak, right on top of here. And I want them to be long because then I'm going to run some bits and pieces through it, kind of like charms. And the cool thing about this, the way I'm doing it, is that I can move the tassel up or down or wherever if I change my mind. I think this looks so fun and I'm happy with the way everything is looking. I'm going to snip the excess here, and then I think I want to add some stitching maybe around the border of this panel. Let's do that. Let me do that. I think it's just a good idea to keep that theme running throughout the entire design. I'm going to go for some cherry tape to adhere my panel on to the cover of my mini album for no particular reason. That's just kind of what I was vibing. And if I use glue, I felt like it was going to be a little too messy, and I know exactly where I want my panel, so I don't need that wiggle room that I get when I use glue versus double adhesive tape. Okay, so now to work on the mixed media piece of my cover. Although I feel like when there's different types of media on a cover, it's considered mixed media, even though they're not mediums. So I'm going to reach for alcohol ink, and I'm going to stick with yellow tones. I'm going to look for something similar in shade or right next door to each other. So Sunshine Yellow and Honeycomb are tickling my fancy at the moment. And just in case though, I'm going to look over here to see if I have any other colors. This is just a duplicate. Why it's in here, I don't know. Probably because I ran out of room in the other one. I'll figure all that later. So this is an acetate sheet. If you don't have one, you can always use a piece of like laminate paper, like the old school, you know, run it through the little heat thingamajigger. And a lot of times I like to use these for shakers, and I don't use much, so like a full 8.5 by 11 sheet lasts me forever. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on this before dropping some honeycomb and sunshine yellow, and then use my blower to start moving the alcohol around. I have no particular design in mind. I kind of just want like a really cool alcohol ink wisping kind of background. And the isopropyl alcohol clears the alcohol ink, and then the ink blending solution does just that. It blends it, so you get white space with the alcohol, and then with the blending solution you get more of the mixing. I hope that makes sense. I didn't get technical with the terminology. But one of my favorite things to do when I do play with alcohol ink is to get wispy edges. And the way I accomplish that is by using the alcohol blending solution, excuse me, right at the edges of my ink, and then blending or blowing it out as far as I can, and then blowing it back in, because when the color comes back in, then it's kind of faded. And then I always love to splatter, but with alcohol ink, I like to splatter with isopropyl alcohol, and I tend to stick towards the edges of my alcohol ink design, because remember, the alcohol ink does what? It makes the alcohol ink disappear. So you get like little blotches and spots and stuff. So it adds to that like wicking edges. So I really like the way that this looks. I haven't shared yet what I'm going to do with it. I am going to use it as the background for my acrylic piece, because I wanted to add a mixed media element. I wanted it to help the acrylic pop, because it is a little brown, but I wish that it was a little bit longer, and I don't have a longer piece, and I'm not trying to go through the trouble of laminating a sheet or finding an acetate sheet. I have these scraps, I want to use them. So I think I'm just going to adhere it. I'm going to adhere it and adhere this extra little piece, and hopefully it holds long enough so that I can run it through the sewing machine and add some stitching. Now, the other reason why I wanted to use like a separate piece of specifically this acetate is because when I created a mixed media, when I created on a mixed media cover before on that Joy December Daily that I showed earlier, it smeared. So this is my solution. I can add the alcohol ink and then flip it over so it's actually adhered on the other side, and when you touch it, you don't have to worry about it smearing or contaminating anything else. So it was a little tricky only because to glue together, only because I'm severely impatient, but I'm gonna trim this here, and then I'm going to go ahead and run it through my sewing machine. And then I get this idea of, what if I make this into a pocket? So I'm going to go down that realm and see what happens. But for now, I'm going to add a little bit more alcohol ink with the same technique that I did to create this larger portion off to the piece of acetate that I added onto it. That way it doesn't look like it was completely cut off, and it is actually one complete piece. Okay, so I've adhered my acrylic title. I really want to use this earth heart. I have to find a way to use it, but for now I'm going to set it aside, and I want to add this tiny little arrow right on the eye, so it kind of looks like the eye and the word with, just to pull the green acrylics from my charms. And then also the green here. So my original design, this geo was going to go right on top of where the pocket is, but like touching the word wherever. But because I want to keep it a pocket, that's not going to jam. So I'm going to go ahead and start a little cluster of this geo and some gears. And I Want to make sure of the placement, so I'm just kind of testing some ephemera in the pocket to see if it's even worth it. So I'm not completely in love with the ephemera in there. And what I end up doing off camera, if you don't know me already, is going back and adding some embellishments. And I am going to use my earth heart and stick it right in the pocket and leave it there permanently. You'll see that in the beauty shots. These thickers are from a past kit, and I'm debating whether to do the full 2026 or just 26. And if I just do the 26, it looks like a beautiful intentional cluster. The other tiny addition that I made off a camera, you will see in the beauty shots at the end of the video, is at the top of my tassel. I just tied some ribbon. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do hope that you were inspired today to reach for your mixed media and create on your paper crafts. Remember, all of the products featured in this project will be linked in the description box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos and mixed media papercraft content. Thanks again so much for watching. Until the next crafty doings.